exactly 238 years ago today, Boston Harbor became a teapot when a group of patriots dressed as Mohawk Indians boarded British tea ships and proceeded to dump the shipment into the water below. Organized by the Sons of Liberty and known following as, well, at least one of us follows our history. No. The event was a watershed moment in the move toward American freedom from British control. At the center of the Patriots' coup was the introduction of new taxation laws, further limiting the colonists' economic viability. The British government did not take this insult lightly. Infuriated by the colonists' costly property damage, the British Parliament promptly enacted the Intolerable Acts, its most stringent laws against the American colonies. These laws immediately closed the port of Boston for business purposes, gave British officials protection from criminal persecution in America, or prosecution, not persecution, prosecution, and forced colonists to house British military personnel, violating the basic tenets of privacy, financial freedom, and protection we've come to understand as American values. These oppressive acts would ultimately lead to the firing of the first shots at Lexington just 2 years later. This history, many of us might remember, many of us might not, learning as students, and if not, there are great History Channel programming lineups to refresh one's memory. Now, every year, we are supposedly reminded of being freed from this yoke of oppression and the ideals of liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness, which our forebears held in great esteem. Yet it turns out that the 4th of July has become more recognized as a time to grill out, to be with family and friends, and of course, to watch fireworks. Now, similarly, Hanukkah has its roots in an ancient revolution. It's actually the first revolution for religious freedom. Yet in more modern times, many have become more concerned about the rituals than the underlying principles for which the celebration commemorates. The story, as many know, recalls the Maccabean revolt against the Syrian Greeks, who, led by Antiochus IV, forbade the Jews from practicing religious rites in the temple. Outraged by the Greeks' anti-Jewish stance, Matthias Maccabee and his 5 sons led a revolt against them. Even though outnumbered, the Jews prevailed in liberating Jerusalem and rededicating the temple anew. Every year since, Jews have honored this victory with an 8-day celebration. Now, beginning this upcoming Tuesday night, we will light the candles of the menorah for the first time in 5772, as our ancestors have done for generations. Many will exchange gifts, many will spin the dreidel, and many will enjoy the taste of latkes. While these rituals, lighting the menorahs, spinning dreidels, giving gifts, and eating those delicious yet extremely oily and fatty foods are vital, they have in many respects overshadowed the core values of the celebration. The time was set aside to remind Jews of being freed from a repressive regime, of rededicating ourselves to traditions seemingly lost, and of hope's light even when faced with the darkest odds. While our customs no doubt are extremely important because of their ability to link us to long-standing traditions, blindly following our ancestors' footsteps without telling the story, expressing its significance, or taking action in relation to the holiday's meaning limit our ability to connect more deeply to our faith and our tradition. Yesterday, I read a news article about many anonymous donors paying off holiday layaway debts at Kmart stores around the country. Surprised and appreciative individuals have been blown away when told their credit balance has been alleviated. This action, no matter the religious affiliation of the donor or the recipient, is a perfect example of moving beyond the ritual. All of us can provide light by igniting the candles of the menorah. Yet how can we act in ways that remind ourselves and others what the holiday signifies? Our ability to overcome oppressive situations, to rededicate ourselves to Jewish values such as those of compassion and acts of loving kindness, and to remind as well to be reminded that hopes are not just possible, but achievable. More than rituals and the honoring of a revolution, Hanukkah offers us a time to remember our own lights, which we can provide for our own world. A few weeks back from this pulpit, I expressed my concerns over the Penn State University scandal. And in closing that discussion, that week's Torah portion included the first mention of the word hineni, meaning here I am. I shared that we will each confront a situation in which someone will need our help, will need us to stand up for them, will need us to act on their behalf. And as Hanukkah approaches, may we be reminded of the impact we can have on our world and our commitment to those hineni moments. And may through rituals, the stories we place on them, and our actions have the courage to make our world a better place. Shabbat Shalom.